He doesn't just watch the market, he is the market. People give him equity out of respect. In his last life, he was himself. He is the most knowledgeable man in the world.
I don't always invest, but when I do, it's in the future. Stay dangerous, my friends. Welcome to the Wealth Mindset with JD Garnier. Listen, we live, baby. Live and direct. I hope you are being productive in your journey to create wealth. As you know, my goal is simple: to help you walk in wealth, mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. To take the things that God has already given you and use those to create a life of purpose, so that wealth is more than just what you acquire. Wealth is who you become. You are the wealth. It's not your investments. It's not your real estate. It's not your business. It's you. And before you have any of those things, you have a unique and specific set of talents, abilities, gifts, ideas, habits, disciplines, and inclinations that form the basis of everything that you do in this world. And once you tap into that, you build wealth in your life. So again, you are the wealth. Listen, man, today I want to talk about why you aren't winning. Right? I see people online just argue and discuss back and forth the difficulties of life and, things that are holding them back, or things that, maybe obstacles from them achieving what they want to achieve. I'm a big believer in, if there is no enemy within, then the enemy without can do you no harm. Right? We're so focused on everything that's going on externally in the world and all of those things and how they're preventing us from achieving our goals or our dreams. But before you look outside, you always have to internalize and look inside and ask yourself, am I doing everything that I can? Am I putting myself in the best position for success? Am I doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing to maximize everything that God gave me? And if the answer is no, then that's where you need to start, because you can't control everything that's going on in the world, but you can control yourself. You can control your habits, your disciplines, your inclinations, and the things that you do every day to keep you on the path. So why aren't you winning? That's the question. Why aren't you winning in life right now? The things that you have in your mind that you aspire to, that you dream about, why aren't they being done? And, the first reason why you may not be winning in life is because you're not following your purpose. Now, you hear me talk about purpose all the time on this channel, and I define it as God's original instruction in your life. But it sounds simple, but as you start out life, purpose is something difficult to achieve or to find or discover, because you don't know who you are. And so you spend a lot of your youth trying to discover who you are and who God wants you to be. And before you actually discover that, what you have to do is remove all of the pre-programming that has been placed on you, because the world wants to tell you who you're supposed to be. Society wants to tell you who you're supposed to be. They already have an idea of what they want you to be doing, but that's not the thing God called you to do. And so if you have a difficult time getting through all of that noise, if you follow the crowd, if you find yourself moving in directions in life that aren't connected to who you are and they just don't feel right, that's probably why you're not winning right now. You're following a path that you think is a path to success, but that's somebody else's path. And it doesn't feel right to you. Things aren't happening the way they're supposed to be happening, right? It's not organic. You don't feel authentic. If that's the case, you're not following the right path. I could Go try to recreate every single workout that Steph Curry did. I can go and do exactly what he did to get to where he is, follow his blueprint. Listen, it's probably going to develop me really, really good as a basketball player. But it doesn't matter if I do exactly what he did, I am not going to get the same result because my calling is different, right? My foundation is different. My body is different. The way I react to things are different. So even if I do exactly what he did, my results are going to be different because following his path is not my path. And that's the same thing with your purpose, right? That is something that is specific and unique to you. And so if you find yourself in life following somebody else's path, following somebody else's purpose, you're not going to see any success. You're not going to see any movement, right? You may progress in that direction. You may develop skills and talents, but it's not going to be fulfilling to you. You're not going to feel like you're winning because that's not your purpose. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. And so the first reason why you're probably not winning is because that's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're living a life, you're following a path that is not connected to who you're supposed to be. And so the answer to that is you got to reconnect with yourself. You have to identify God's original instruction in your life, and you got to follow your purpose. Nobody pays full price for a copy. In order for you to fully maximize who you're supposed to be and all of the potential that God gave you, you got to move authentically. You got to be an original. An original can be flawed. An original can be tainted, but because it is authentic, it is going to require full price. And so a flawed original is more valuable than a perfect copy. You can go and copy somebody right now, and it can be a flawless copy, and it is going to be worth less than your authentic, original, flawed self. Remember that. So the first reason you're not winning is you're not living in your purpose. You're trying to be something that you're not. You can't win like that. And so reconnect with who you are, identify your purpose, and follow that path. You got to do it. You got to do it. So the second reason that you're not winning. The second reason that you are not winning is you going through the motions. You're not really putting in the work. You're not really putting in the grind. You're not really cultivating the seed, right? You committed to it, but you ain't giving all your effort. You're not giving all of your effort, right? There's a difference between jogging and sprinting. Both of them are running, but the latter requires so much more energy and effort and focus. Sprinting is intense, right? It requires all of your muscles moving as fast as they can. Jogging is still may get you there, but it's not intense. It's not a full display of everything that you got. And if you're not giving everything that you got, people are going to be passing you up. It's going to feel like you're not making any progress, right? You don't develop your muscles by jogging. That's just a warm-up. You develop your muscles by sprinting. When I work out with my kids, I tell them there's a difference, right? Both of these, this is a punch, but that's a punch too, right? Both of them are punches, but one of them is going to be more effective because it is more intense. There's more energy involved in that. And when it comes to your purpose, if you are lacking in the energy department, if you are not giving full effort and intensity, you're not going to win. You're not going to win. You have to give full effort and intensity in life. Otherwise, it's going to fall by the wayside. See, this is what you got to understand. The world is one way, right? It is how it is. The way the world is today does not include your dream. It doesn't include your gift. It does not include the thing that you're trying to accomplish. You're trying to make that accomplishment a reality in a world where it's not real yet. And so in order for you to do that, there's a certain amount of force that is going to take what's in your mind, to take what's in your heart, and to make that a reality in the world. It's going to take a certain amount of force to take that energy and create something that's never existed before, to do something that you've never done before. And that energy requires intensity. You can't just go through the motions in life just to say you did it, right? You started a business, but you're still waking up at 10 o'clock in the morning, right? You say you were out trying to hustle, but you made a few phone calls and called it a day, right? You say you want to get better, but then you read a couple pages and you fall asleep. You trying to do it, but your effort and energy is not meeting the intensity required to make things happen in this world. You want something to happen in this world that hasn't happened yet. So you got to take as much energy and force as possible to force that into the world. The world wants to stay the way it is. It's your job to change it. Your body wants to stay the way that it is. Your body don't want to be fit. You have to force it to be fit. Your body doesn't want to go through all of these things. You have to force the intensity. That's the only way it's going to change. The world doesn't even know what you have exists. It's only in your mind. There's a certain amount of force and intensity that is required to make it a reality. And if you feel like you're not winning, maybe it's because you have not put in the intensity required to force your will into this world. You got to do it. And listen, the last reason why you may not be winning is because you just ain't there yet. You just ain't got to that point yet. You may be doing all of the things right, everything necessary. You're doing what you're supposed to do. You on the grind. You're giving full effort and intensity. You're living in your purpose, and you're just not seeing any results. Maybe you're just not there yet. When you plant a seed, that seed grows down before it grows up. That seed lives in darkness before it ever sees the light of day. But while in darkness, that seed is working. It is rooting itself. It is planting itself in the soil. It is preparing itself for growth. And so don't always look at the results as evidence of your success. Sometimes you just have to look at the work and the activities and the behaviors, right? One of the things that they told us in my business when you first started is you can't control the outcomes. You can't control when a client tells you yes. What you can control are your behaviors and your activities. What are you doing every day to yield that result, right? And then eventually the results will start to happen as a result of your behaviors. And so you may not be seeing any results today, but the question that you need to ask yourself is, do your behaviors line up with your purpose? Are you doing what you're supposed to be doing? Because even before that seed sees the light of day, it is underground working. It is rooting itself. It is planting itself, right? The daily cultivation, the daily nurturing of the soil, all of that is required before you see any evidence. Before you see any evidence that you can become a tree, you are rooting and planting yourself in the soil so that the day that seed pierces the ground and sees the sunlight, the day that seed is able to break the ground, it is already planted where it's supposed to be. It is immovable because it is living exactly where it's supposed to be. You're living exactly what you're supposed to be doing in your purpose. That's what the grind is for. So now that you see the sun, now you know you can grow, right? You formed the foundation. So now you're immovable. Now can't nobody compromise you. Can't nobody can sway you in a different direction because you've planted your roots in that place. Right? But it just ain't happened yet. If you keep working, if you keep with the consistency, if your behaviors are in alignment, now you just got to be patient. You got to wait for something. See, we want the microwave solution to life. We want to be able to get the bag. We want to be able to start the business and it be successful in a few months. We want to be able to try anything and it just immediately work. We want the microwave solution, right? But when you put food in the microwave, it gives you the same, right? It cooks the food, it heats it, it does what it's supposed to do. But guess what? It don't taste the same. It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't even look the same. Because microwave food is a rush job on the authentic version of the meal. And so you just have to be patient. If you are doing everything that you're supposed to do, you got to let that season and marinate. You have to let it infuse itself in the product. You got to let it cook. And you just have to be patient enough to know that you are doing everything that you're supposed to be doing. And then eventually things are going to fall in your favor. But you have to have patience. There is no microwave solution to success. There is no person that got it fast and kept it fast. Because when you get it fast, it does not taste the same. Microwave food does not taste like a home cooked meal. It does not even replenish your body and the nutrients the same. And so as you are thinking about your life and your success and why you're not winning, you got to take that into consideration, right? You have to take that into consideration. And so, listen, we all want to win. What does that mean? That means that you are living and following in your purpose. It doesn't mean anything for anybody else. It is your life. It is your life to live. You just got to make sure that you are patient, right? That you're doing the things that you are supposed to do, that you are intensely working towards it, and that you follow in your purpose. Nobody pays full price for a copy. So do the thing that God called you to do, not what somebody else expects you to do. Give full intensity and be patient, and it's going to come in your favor. That's the wealth mindset. Y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll see y'all soon.
If God is for us, then who is against us? Conspiracy or not, strategize and plot. Buy back your block, real estate and stocks. Stack what you got, hold down your spot. Strike while you hot and take the man up top. Conspiracy or not, strategize and plot. Buy back your block, real estate and stocks. Stack what you got, hold down your spot. Strike while you hot and take the man up top. Conspiracy or not, strategize and plot. Buy back your block, real estate and stocks. Stack what you got, hold down your spot. Strike while you hot and take the man up top. Conspiracy or not, strategize and plot. Buy back your block, real estate and stocks. Stack what you got, hold down your spot. Strike while you hot and take the man up top.
Conspiracy or not, strategize and plot.